Hello everyone, welcome back to Clusterbmilkshake. I'm your host, along with support puppet Mr. Chicken. Yes. Today we're going to continue with Why Does He Do That by Mr. Lundy Bancroft, Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men. Inside this book, they also have a part on here that talks about borderlines and narcissistic personality disorder, which they kind of gloss over it as doing these things not just consciously but unconsciously. That is no excuse, okay? So when me learning about myself and shining a light on some of these things that I was doing unconsciously, I can stop, I'd say 70% of them. It's very uncomfortable to do, but only when they were brought to light. Otherwise, when I'm reading this stuff, I'm like, yeah, I would be doing this stuff and feel 100% justified in any of the behaviors that I was doing. There is a part in here that talks about somebody who is more sadistic. They know what the fuck they're doing, okay? So I'm going to go over the different types of abusive people, and it can also crisscross over. So if I'm reading this and you see your person in there, but not everything, you're going to see stuff in other parts too. Also, you might want to self-reflect too, because I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people are also very unconscious of their own abusive ways. And this, because, and I'm not calling you a narcissist, but I'm saying that, some people can be doing this shit and not knowing what they're doing, because abusive people feel justified in their behaviors. So I think everybody needs to get this book, because then shining a light on stuff really wakes you up. And yeah, you feel fucking embarrassed and shameful about it, but you're not going to be able to correct your behaviors and have healthier relationships unless you know you're doing fucked up shit. Okay? All right. So first we got, which it can be a man or a woman, the demand man. The demand man is highly entitled. He expects his partner to revolve around meeting his needs and is angry and blaming if anything gets in the way. He becomes enraged if he isn't centered, or if he is inconvenienced in even a minor way. So he has little sense of give and take. His demands for emotional support, favors, caretaking, or sexual attention are well out of proportion to his contributions. He consistently feels that you owe him things that he has done nothing to earn. These are the entitleds. He exaggerates and overvalues his contributions. If he was generous one day back in 1975, you are probably still hearing about it today as proof of how wonderful he treats you and how ungrateful you are. Also, people who are telling you about their exes and stuff, they will put themselves on a pedestal that they, contributed to the relationship in a wonderful, meaningful way. And then you get into a relationship with them, and then you find out that they're bullshit, that they're just kind of breadcrumbing you the couple times that they were fucking coolio, right? All right. He seems to keep a mental list of any favors or kindnesses he ever does and expects each one paid back at heavy interest. He thinks you owe him tremendous gratitude. Okay, and this can be like parents too, right? Trying to guilt you. I had to give up my whole life to have a family, and it's your fucking fault. All right. When he doesn't get what he feels is his due, he punishes you for letting him down. When he is generous or supportive, it's because he feels like it. When he isn't in the mood of getting anything, he doesn't. That's typical behavior. Okay. He is positive or loving towards you when he feels he needs to prove himself or to others that he is a good person, or when there is something that he is about to demand in return. So this is when you see them being extra nice, but there's strings attached. There's strings attached to the niceness or giving of gifts, money, attention, anything, you know. Basically, a lot of married women are like, you're just being nice to me because you want to have sex. Yes. Yes, they do. Okay. If your needs ever conflict with his, he is furious. At these times, he attacks you as self-centered or inflexible, turning reality on its head with statements such as, all you care about is yourself. He tends to work hard to convince outsiders of how selfish and ungrateful you are, speaking in a hurt voice about all these things he does for you. And another thing that can happen is either man or woman doing these things, they will be grooming another friend of the opposite sex, talking shit about you and how wonderful they are. And, you know, the new unsuspecting groom person is going to be like, oh, well, I'm a better man or woman than them. I'll do better. And then you get trapped in the nightmare and then karma, bitch. Okay, don't fucking cheat. All right. The next one is Mr. Right. Mr. Right considers himself the ultimate authority on every subject under the sun. You might call him Mr. Always Right. He speaks with absolute certainty, brushing your opinions aside like an annoying gnat. I hate these motherfuckers because they are always in conflict with your thoughts all the time. You say one thing, and I was like this when I was younger, okay? I take full responsibility. When I was like in my 30s and stuff and younger, whatever you say, I always had a counter to it. It's like you couldn't, nothing you said, I don't know what the fuck. It was like I always had to challenge everything everybody said until I learned that you can be more likable if you just shut the fuck up and listen and mirror back to them that they're cool and shit, so you're more likable, right? But before, when I was completely unconscious about that, I would always attack every thought that you had. It's like, it's crazy town. It's crazy town. And I dated somebody for a second who was very much like this. And it didn't fucking matter. Anything that I said, any milestone that I had, he always had a counter for it. And I was just trying to pay attention to him and get along, that I was not listening to all of these counters until I went home, journaled things, and kind of let myself go over the day and stuff. And I'm like, he fucking talks shit about every single thing that I fucking say, you know? And I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to be around that shit. All right. So I'm just going to do a quick summary on Mr. Right here. You should be in awe of my intelligence and should look up to me intellectually. I know better than you, even about what's good for you. Your opinions aren't worth listening to carefully or taking seriously. The fact that you sometimes disagree with me shows how sloppy your thinking is. If you would just accept that I know what's right, our relationship would go much better. Your life would be better too. When you disagree with me about something, no matter how respectfully or meekly, that's mistreatment of me. If I put you down for long enough, someday you'll see. Now, some of you who may get involved with some borderline women, you want to take care of her, you want to get her needs met, you want to help her mentally, you want to help fix her, her problems that she's sabotaging within inside of herself. And so you think that you know what's best for her, and you're going to turn into Mr. Right. So pay attention to that. It might not be what you've always done, but you know, this might be happening unconsciously. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt and not calling you pieces of shit, okay? The air went on. All right. The water torturer. The water torturer style proves that anger doesn't cause abuse. He can assault his partner psychologically without even raising his voice. I hate these motherfuckers. To stay calm in arguments, using his own evenness as a weapon to push her over the edge. You've noticed these people when they will not and you feel like they're very cold and dismissive because they're not having any inflection in the way that they are talking to you. It's very monotone, and they can cut you down and make you feel like shit, but because they don't have any emotion behind it, it makes you react abusively. Okay. He often has a superior or contemptuous grin on his face, smug and self-assured. That's going to piss you off too. He uses a can't say that fucking word, low volume, including sarcasm, such as openly laughing at her, mimicking her voice, and cruel, cutting remarks. Like Mr. Right, he tends to take things, as she says, and twist them beyond recognition to make her appear absurd, perhaps especially in front of other people. He gets to his partner through a slow but steady stream of low emotional assaults, and perhaps occasionally shoves or other minor acts of violence. Don't generally cause visible injury, but may do great psychological harm. He is relentless in his quiet derision and meanness. Okay, so the water torturer is payback oriented, like most abusive men, but he may hide it better. If he is physically abusive, his violence may take the form of cold-hearted slaps for your own good, or to get you to wake up rather than explosive rage. So that's just him feeling justified laying hands on you because of your upsetness, because he's being condescending. I'll slap you back. His moves appear carefully thought out, and he rarely makes obvious mistakes, such as letting his abusiveness show in public that could turn other people against him or get him into legal trouble. Now, like I said, a lot of these can cross over too. So you're going to have the pussification type, which is the victim, and the sensitive. We're going to go over real quick with the drill sergeant. It's kind of self-explanatory, ain't it? We'll just go with the central attitudes here, which is, I need to control your every move or you will do it wrong. I know the exact way that everything should be done. You shouldn't have anyone else or anything else in your life besides me. I am going to watch you like a hawk to keep you from developing strength or independence. I love you more than anyone in the world, but you disgust me. Now this is crazy town, because that's so much work to me, always having to keep tabs, always like that insecure shit, always looking at where their stuff is all the time, that's just fucking oh my god, what a waste of energy. I wouldn't even do that. The drill sergeant takes controlling behavior to an extreme, running his partner's life in every way that he can. He criticizes her clothing, tells her whether she can go out or not, interferes with her work. He wants her to have no one close to her, so he ruins her relationships with friends and relatives or simply forbids her to see them. I can also see with the ruining of the friends and stuff is if your partner is telling you that your friends are flirting with them or anything like that, or they can go out and flirt with your friends and family members where you feel like you have to keep your friends and family away from them because they can't fucking control themselves. All right, Mr. Sensitive. Okay, we're gonna go over the key marks of Mr. fucking pussification. You seem to be hurting his feelings constantly, though you aren't sure why, and he expects your attention to be focused endlessly on his emotional injuries. If you are in a bad mood one day and say something unfair or insensitive, it won't be enough for you to give him a sincere apology and accept responsibility. He'll go on and on about it, expecting you to grovel as if you had treated him with profound cruelty. This is, even if he or she says something to you, you say something back, you will be punished. And they can even give you the silent treatment, stonewall you, meaning not even listening to your apology. There is no forgiveness, and you're sleeping on the fucking couch. I have gone through this. When I say I got my karma fucking 100-fold, let me tell you what. When your feelings are hurt, on the other hand, he will insist on brushing over it quickly. Now, all narcissistic people do this. They don't feel your hurt. They rarely ever, if never, apologize. They don't give a fuck, and they want you to get over it because they're not hurt. Remember, we only see things from our perspective. So if we perceive that you hurt us, you have to kiss our ass for the rest of your life to make up for it. But if we do something to you, you better get over it with a quickness because we don't fucking care. Yay. All right. He may give you a stream of pop psychological language. Just let the feelings go through you. What is he, fucking Yoda? Don't hold on to them so much, or it's all in the attitude you take towards life, or no one can hurt you unless you let them. Now, I've done a lot of self-help, so of course I'm going to be using this lingo, of course. So those lines could get really smeared, because me, if I'm learning things that are helping me out with life, I can still be abusive in different ways, but this is, real to me, and it would be helpful for you too, but your brain is going to be scrambled eggs because you're going to be like, well, you're a fucking bitch doing all this shit to me, and now you're trying to be helpful, and mix that with Mr. or Mrs. Know-It-All. You're not gonna be happy. Okay. All right. None of these philosophies apply when you upset him, however. No. Punishment for you is always justified. With the passing of time, he increasingly casts blame on you for anything he is dissatisfied with in his own life. Oh, hell to the yeah. Your burden of guilt keeps growing. And what's funny is this can be swapped into you blaming your narcissistic person for your life going to shit, which is accurate. See how we can flip-flop, blame shift, and also point a finger at you. This is why it's so difficult being in relationships with us, because we will see you as being abusive. Okay? You just have to make sure that you're not. That's why it's important to read these things. And hopefully when you see the red flags and stuff that you get out really fucking quick. There's a part in here that talks about how the abuse starts, and it tells you, which I've made videos of and stuff, but if you buy this book, it will show you how it slowly encroaches into your life and takes over your whole life, and why it's so hard to get out of. Okay. Where am I? He starts to exhibit a mean side that no one ever sees, and may even become threatening or intimidating. And this is the sensitive one. Okay. So he'll be the one that's more feminine, not the macho. Okay. Then we got the player. Now, we all know who the player is. This is one that's just all over the internet, where I'll just go over this real quickly. He knows how to make each woman feel that she is special one, and yet at the same time keep her off balance so that she never feels quite sure of where she stands with him, the situationship. He tells each one that the other is lying about their involvements with him because they are jealous of her, or because he turned them down, or because he used to be involved with them but isn't anymore. Keeping motherfucking exes as friends, or shelving, or the groupies. Okay? This is abusive. I tell you guys this, and a lot of fucking women out there are like, no, he's my friend, he did nothing wrong. Fuck you, pick-me's. Fuck you. Okay? Yeah, I liked it when my pick-me boys were on my side. Okay? Double standard. Okay. He tells each one stories about how other women have mistreated him or shared other bits of information largely invented to make previous or current women in his life sound convincing, vindictive, or addicted to substances. Yeah, she got a restraining order on me. I did nothing. She had the kids taken away. I did nothing. No. You have to go through the courts. You have to go through Child Protective Services. You have to go through a lot of things. A woman, they don't just fucking, me too, me too. You know how hard it is to get somebody convicted, or even, a woman believe that they were SA'd. Stop it. He breaks up with women and gets back together with them so that no one can keep track of what's going on. You will also see this when they put changing their profile pictures on everything. Taking them down, putting them up, trying to get somebody else jealous by putting up an X. Okay. He includes one or two women in his circle who feel unattractive because he knows he can have more power over them, and manipulates them into hating the women who are seen as more attractive. Yes, we will have all different shapes and sizes, looks, and whatever. And you don't know how much attention we're giving to other people. You may feel overly special, and we can use you to attack other people or back us up or just be a sounding board, and you think you're fucking special. You're disposable. Okay? Don't even go there. All right. So that is the playa. Then we got Rambo. Now, Rambo is aggressive with everybody, not just his partner. So this is one where you will, be attracted to the big burly man with the tattoos. He's got an angry, biker attitude, whatever, or even just, the borderline man. And he can't hold his aggression in for fucking nothing. It is being turned on you, not everybody else. Every woman has had that bad boy fantasy. You guys read the romance novels and everything about the fucking stalker, and you're jerking off to the stalker. Or the guy who will kill everyone but, you know, want to keep you in a cage, and he's just obsessed with you. This is fantasy land, of course, but if you try to bring those books into reality, he's kicking your ass too. You're in a cage of pain. You're not going to be just loved and, you know, oh, let me cook for you every day. Let me bring you flowers. Let me give you love. And, you know, but treating you also like the parent, you know, they're always treating you like they know better, and they're the dom and you're the submissive, and barf, barf, barf. Anyways, many highly masculine men are not Rambo. The notion that all macho men are likely to abuse women is based largely on a class of ethic prejudices, the same misconceptions that allowed Mr. Sensitive or Mr. Right to skate undetected. There are plenty of tough guys out there who are friendly to everyone and avoid aggressive interactions whenever possible, but enjoy lifting weights, playing rough sports, hunting, and other aspects of stereotypical masculinity. I think that's bullshit. I think guys who do all this stuff, that they do think that they're better than everybody else, and they're going to have that entitlement attitude. Boys, come at me, but I fucking please. The guys that I think have more control over their anger are the ones that go into martial arts, because they are taught discipline. They are taught not to use their capabilities to killify you unless absolutely necessary. So yeah, now we have the victim. I got to get through this real quick. All right. If you listen carefully, you often hear the difference between anger towards an ex-partner, which would not be worrisome in itself, and disrespect or contempt, which should raise warning flags. A man who has left a relationship with bitterness should nonetheless be able to talk about his ex-partner as a human being with some understanding of what her side of the conflict was, and some ways he might be contributed to what went wrong. So this guy is only going to talk shit. He is the victim. She was completely abusive and everything like that. Yeah, I've had a couple of motherfuckers like that. Never did anything fucking wrong. It was always the person. And if you try to defend the woman in any way, well, maybe she thought blah, 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 you will be punished. I was punished if I ever chose the woman's side. And I didn't say that she was perfect in any way, but if I chose the woman's side, oh, I got an earful. Try to get him to talk about his own conduct in the relationship, especially around the time of the breakup. If he blames his own behavior on her, that's a bad sign. Be particularly careful with a man who claims to have been a victim of physical violence by a previous female partner, unless it's documented by the cops. The great majority of men who make such claims are physical abusers. I do believe that there are men out there that are very shameful to bring it to other people's attention, because he will look weak. So I do understand that. Ask him for as much detail as you can about the violent incidents, and try to talk about her and seek out anyone who else that could give a different perspective in what happened. I would even, get in touch with her, especially if you're getting really deep in this relationship. Pay attention to how he talks and thinks about abused women. A genuine male victim tends to feel sympathy for other abused women. So he's going to shit all over the Me Too movement and stuff like that. Not saying that every woman who claims, it doesn't have a regret fuck, but you know what I'm saying. And lastly, we have the terrorist. You have no right to defy me or leave me. Your life is in my hands. Women are evil and have to be kept terrorized to prevent that evil from coming forth. I would rather die than accept your right to independence, and the children are one of the best tools I have to make you feel fearful. Seeing you terrified excites me and satisfies me. Okay, so here is the book. Hope that was helpful. Have a great day. Namaste.